Does binaural recording improve stereo imaging? This question comes from Darren in New Westminster, Canada. I guess there must have been an old Westminster in Canada, or I'll bet it's the one in England. Westminster, England, yeah. So that's probably it, because they all came from England, right? Them Canadians, and most of the Americans too. Hey, Paul, compliments on your mellifluous voice. Oh, I didn't know I was mellifluous. I'm not even sure what mellifluous means. Is it a good thing? I guess it's a good thing. I'm only thinking of Maleficent. Wasn't she the nasty witch in Snow White or something? Well, anyway, whatever. Thank you for I think it's a compliment. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on binaural audio capture and if you think it might improve soundstage with stereo playback equipment. The theory seems sound. You capture the audio using two microphones, which mimic the ear, either mounted at ear position on the head of a dummy or even in artificial canals. The truth is, we do only have two ears, but even so, we are able to perceive sound above, below, in front, and beyond, not only left and right. So I look forward to your thoughts on this interesting topic. Darren from British Columbia. Thanks, Darren. Maleficent. My Maleficent voice. Well, if you've ever seen these dummy heads, for the longest time, there was the idea that we would make a dummy head and a pair of microphones in actual ears that were molded that would be sticking out, and the idea was to exactly reproduce what is coming into our heads by duplicating a head and then hearing the differences in the recordings. And it was all the rage for the longest time. People were always talking about these magnificent recordings, and some of them actually worked out pretty well. I think the problem that I found with these recordings was that you were sort of duplicating something twice. So think about this for a moment. Right now, you're listening to my voice, and or you're listening to music, whatever you may be doing, and that sound pressure is coming in, going into being captured by my ears, and my ears are a very specific shape, specific to me. They're almost as identifiable as the retinas in my eye, which are unique to me. And pretty much my ears are unique to me. My shape of my canals, absolutely unique to me. So my brain, over my many years on the planet, has come to learn that however sound comes to me and gets interpreted through those canals and through my pinna, which is the outside of the ear, it makes sense of all of that so that I hear pretty much the same thing you hear. Okay? So we can agree that when I'm playing a clarinet, that sound, I can close my eyes, I don't need to see it, and I can listen to it and go, yep, that's clarinet. I can probably tell you, the whether it's a metal clarinet or a wooden clarinet, or if I'm tuned into clarinets, or a trumpet, or a cornet, or something like Dizzy Gillespie's horn sticking up, and we can all close our eyes and hear the same air pressure and interpret it the same, yet we have extremely different mechanisms for doing so, and it's all interpreted here in the brain. That's how that sort of all works. So the problem I have with that kind of binaural model is our heads are not all shaped the same, our canals are not all shaped the same, and to stick microphones in there and use a kind of average model to distort the sound, which is what these do. I mean, they divide up the frequencies, and they do all sorts of things that are tearing apart or distorting sound, so it works for us. If you do that artificially and then try and put it back through the same thing, you're going to get some interesting results, which I don't think are necessarily going to be the ones that you generally want. So I think the idea of the spacing is a great idea. Okay? So spacing is good. If I take a pair of microphones and I space them as far apart as the head, I think that can make some really great sounds and some great recordings. So I'm not a recording expert. I intend to become one when we build our new studios and our new mastering rooms. So I intend to work very hard to become a recording expert, and I certainly have enough experience in recording studios. I worked with Giorgio Moroder and Pete Bellotti for a number of years at their Musicland studios. Well, not a number of years, for a little less than a year actually, but I got a lot of good experience there, and I've certainly been around enough recording studios, but I would never call myself a recording expert. But for what it's worth, that's my opinion of binaural recordings. All right, great question, thank you. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.